भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितंश्च नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती इति नामिने श्रीवार्षभानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाब्दये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्वल प्रेमाढ्य श्री रूपानुग भक्तिदा श्री गौरा करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुग विरुद्धाप सिद्धांत द्वंत हारिणे नमो गौर किशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बारसाम्बोधे पदाम्बुजायते नमः नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौर शक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते गौर आविर्भाव भूमेस्त्वं निर्देश सज्जन प्रिया वैष्णवा सर्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्णा very grateful and very happy to be here again with the wonderful devotees at Inner Consciousness Forum. Very grateful to Ashish Prabhu for kindly inviting me over. So because it's Rath Yatra time, all the devotees are in the consciousness of Lord Jagannath. So I was just mentioning somewhere that this Krishna conscious movement is so wonderful that within the Krishna conscious movement, there is a lot of variety. It is International Society for Krishna Consciousness, but at different times we are conscious of different personalities. When it is Ram Navami time, we are Ram conscious. When it is Janmashtami time, we are very Krishna conscious, hearing about Krishna Katha. When it is Radhashtami time, we are hearing about Srimati Radharani. When it is Narsimha Jayanti, we are hearing about Lord Narsimha. And because it is Jagannath Rath Yatra time, we are all in Jagannath consciousness. We are all thinking about Lord Jagannath and meditating on his beautiful pastimes. So today, in today's session, we will discuss about the appearance of Lord Jagannath, both in Jagannath Puri, and if time permits, how Lord Jagannath appeared in Mayapur, how Lord Jagannath appeared in the life of ISKCON devotees for Srila Prabhupada. We will discuss these stories. Tomorrow, probably, we will touch on the topic of the inner significance and the mood of Rath Yatra. And probably day after, we will touch on how Lord Chaitanya celebrated Rath Yatra in Jagannath Puri. We will hear from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So that's the plan for the next 2-3 days. So in English, actually, there is a word called Juggernaut. There is a word. This word was introduced by the British people in their language after seeing Jagannath Rath Yatra. Because when the British people came to India, they tried to stop the Rath Yatra, Jagannath Rath Yatra, in many ways, but they understood that this Rath Yatra is unstoppable. So something that is unstoppable is called Juggernaut. And this Juggernaut comes from the word Jagannath. Right? They didn't have any other word. They introduced this word. That means very unstoppable, irresistible force. So Jagannath is actually the irresistible force because he's Lord Krishna himself. And Krishna means all attractive. Lord Krishna can attract the hearts of thousands and millions of people. Rath Yatra, Jagannath Puri Rath Yatra is a phenomenon to see and witness. 1-2 days before the Rath Yatra, the entire Jagannath Puri is almost empty. But on the day of Rath Yatra, how people come there, it's something beyond anyone's imagination. No one advertises. It's not like an ISKCON Rath Yatra which is advertised. No advertisement at all. Still lakhs of people assemble in that place. And immediately the day after the Rath Yatra, the entire crowd just vanishes. So it's uh, Jagannath is still the most attractive personality because he's Krishna and Krishna means all attractive. So we will hear how Lord Jagannath appears in this world. So there was a king called King Indradyumna. This king was a king of Avantipur, that was his capital, but literally he was the king of the entire world. He was a samrat of the entire world. King Indradyumna had everything that one could imagine. In life, everyone has certain ambitions in life. Everyone wants money, everyone wants name, fame, followers. You name it, Indradyumna Maharaj had it. He was very beautiful. He had followers. He had beautiful wives. He had wealth. He had everything. But still, because he was a devotee of the Lord, he was still feeling that something is missing in his life. Like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains in his Shikshashtakam, Shunyaitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahe Name. So this is a mood of a sincere devotee. A devotee feels that without Krishna, my life is completely a waste. There is no point in having all this riches. Just few days ago was Chidadahi Utsav, Pani Ati Chidadahi Utsav. And we find the story, a similar example of Raghunath Das Goswami. His father and uncle were literally millionaires, trillionaires. Still, Raghunath Das, with so much opulence, still he was not at all attached to it. Because in his heart of heart, he had such sincere earning to achieve Krishna. So Indradyumna Maharaj, even though he had everything, he still felt his world is vacant. He wanted to see Krishna face to face. All of us have ambitions, desires in life. In the Krishna conscious movement, our actual ambition and desire that should be there is we want to see Krishna face to face. This should be a desire. Probably when we come in the path of Krishna consciousness, there is a kind of enthusiasm, there's a kind of energy. We all come with this mood that I want to achieve Krishna. But down the line now, the whole mood just fizzles away. We get caught in so many other things. We miss the essence. So the essence is this longing, this search for Krishna, which is called Athato Brahma Jigyasa. We find in the Bhagavatam, the second canto, third canto, how Lord Brahma is searching for Krishna. He's searching for the absolute. And anyone who's sincerely searching for Krishna, Krishna helps such a devotee. Lord Krishna tells in the Gita, 10th chapter, Tesham Satata Yuktanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yena Mam Upayantite. Lord Krishna says, anyone who's practicing bhakti sincerely, Tesham Satata Yuktanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam, with great love and devotion, for such a devotee, Lord Krishna gives knowledge. Lord Krishna gives answers. But what kind of knowledge Lord Krishna gives? How such a person can go back to Krishna, how one can achieve Krishna. So when we have a sincere prayer, sincere desire that I want to achieve Krishna, Krishna will send someone in our life who will give us a clue how to achieve him. So therefore, this verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrit, Brahmande Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. A very fortunate person achieves Krishna, but he achieves Krishna through the mercy of Guru. But how does Guru come in our life? When someone wants to sincerely connect to Krishna, that Krishna only sends a Guru or sends a representative in our life. We have in the Bhagavatam Dhruva Maharaj who wanted to achieve the Lord, and he just left to the forest with a sincere desire. The same Supreme Lord sent Narad Muni in his life, and Narad Muni gave a clue how you can achieve Krishna. So Indradyumna Maharaj was meditating time and again and regularly questioning himself, where will I find Krishna? Where will I find Krishna? And because he was so sincere, he was so eager to find answer to this question, one day the answer comes walking to his palace. So there was one yatri, one traveler, who came to the palace of Indradyumna, and he told him, I know where God is. I have seen him. He is in the form of Neela Madhav, and I know where he stays, where is his residence. And Indradyumna Maharaj was so happy to find the answer. So this is called ask receive formula. So we receive answers to questions that we ask repeatedly. We have to keep asking the same question again and again and again. When we are sincerely asking the same question again and again, then we get the answer. The same example of Lord Brahma. Brahma wanted to find out what is the source. He was asking the question again and again, the answer comes. Raghunath Das Goswami wanted to achieve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wanted to run away from his home, achieve Krishna, achieve Mahaprabhu. And finally, the answer also comes to him. So when we sincerely, repeatedly ask this question, where will I find Krishna? Where will I find Krishna? The answers will come. The answers will come walking to you. So this traveler comes to King Indradyumna and says, I know where God is. He is in the form of a deity called Neelamadhav. So this is also very interesting. So what did this traveler, this Yatri see? He saw Krishna, but he saw Krishna in the form of a deity. That means deities of Krishna are non different than Krishna. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, you have the story of Sakshi Gopal. There were these two Brahmanas, young and old Brahmana. So they travel around India and then finally they reach Vrindavan and they find a deity of Gopalji. They stay in that temple there. And this old Brahmana promises in front of Gopalji that when I go back to my village, I will get my daughter married to this young Brahmana. So when they come back to the village, there is a misunderstanding, he just goes back on his words. And then finally, the same Gopal who had accepted Sakshi there, he comes walking. So in that place, it is explained that Sakshat Vrajendra Nandan, Pratibha Nahi Tumi Sakshat Vrajendra Nandan. These deities of Krishna are not only idols, they are not murtis, they are Krishna himself, provided we have the vision to see. Ye yata ma prapadyante tam stataiva bhajameham. If we have the vision to see, we can actually witness the pastimes of Krishna. I was mentioning somewhere in Mayapur, we have our Radha Madhav deities, and the main pujari there who's been serving these deities as the head pujari, Jananivas Prabhu, for almost like 45 years, right from the time of the deities, when the small deities of Radha Madhav were there, till today, Jananivas Prabhu has been steadily serving these deities. So someone who's serving these deities with so much love and devotion, the deities also reciprocate. They can actually witness the pastimes of the deities. So one devotee asked Jananivas Prabhu, Prabhuji, you have been serving these deities of Radha Madhav for so many years. Definitely you might have seen some pastimes. Can you tell us some pastimes of Radha Madhav? So Jananivas Prabhu told that devotee, Radha Madhav told me, don't tell my pastimes to anyone. So the point is, if someone is actually very sincere, he can actually see Krishna in this deities. So this Yatri tells King Indradyumna that this is where Krishna is in the form of Neelamadhav. So immediately King Indradyumna sends his main priest, his chief Purohit called Vidyapati, to find the deity. And then once the deity is confirmed, the location of the deity, the king would go there. So Vidyapati, for 1 full month, without any rest, right from Avantipur, which is in the north, he comes all the way to Odisha, and he reaches literally a forest where the deity of Neelamadhav was there. And this deity was worshipped by a group of people called Shabaras. These Shabaras were literally people who were herding pigs, not of a very high caste. But Krishna, he can choose whom to accept worship from. Krishna has his own ways of choosing. So these Shabaras, they were actually worshipping this Neelamadhav. And they were worshipping in a very secret way. No one ever went to the temple. It was not like a temple open to public. No one ever knew that this temple existed also. It's like a very private, very secret affair. So the chief, the king of this Shabaras was a personality called Vishwavasu. So now Vidyapati, he wanted to serve his king. He wanted to see the deity. So he understood that the only way Vishwavasu will give me the darshan of the deity is I have to get in relation with him. So Vidyapati got married to the daughter of Vishwavasu. Can you imagine this? This is the story of Satyuga, where the caste system was still very, very strong. So here, Vidyapati is a Brahmana. He is getting married to a daughter of a Shabara because he wanted to actually see Krishna. So if you want to achieve Krishna in our life, if you want to have darshan of the Lord in our life, there is a price to pay. We have to pay a certain price. Anything in this world, however, if things are more costly, you have to pay a bigger price to it. So similarly, if you want to have darshan of Krishna, if you want to actually see Krishna in your life, you have to pay the price. And the price is this eagerness, this intensity, where we are ready to give up anything to achieve Krishna. This should be the mood that we have. So Vidyapati finally got married to the daughter of Vishwavasu. And one day, finally, Vishwavasu, now because Vidyapati has become his son-in-law, he decides that let me take my son-in-law to give darshan of Neelamadav. But what he does is, he ties the eyes of Vidyapati, blindfolds him, and then Vidyapati is taken. But Vidyapati is very smart. He puts mustard seeds on the way, and then he is given darshan of Neelamadav. So Vidyapati is so happy to have darshan of Neelamadav. You know, Neelamadav Lord is so beautiful. In English, there's a saying, na, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Right? If you have love for Krishna, premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam shama sundaram achintya gunaswarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. If you have love for Krishna, the deities of Krishna will look very, very beautiful. So Neelamadav, Vidyapati's heart was completely won by this beauty of this deity. So as Vidyapati was having darshan of these deities, one day Neelamadav comes in the dream of Vishwavasu, and he tells Vishwavasu that from now on, I want to accept service from Vidyapati and King Indradyumna. So many years I have accepted service from your family, your generations. Now I want to accept service from Indradyumna. So the Lord, whom he shows mercy to at when, in what way, we can never comprehend. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would say, Krishna is Swarat. He is supremely independent. He is a supreme autocrat. No one can question Krishna. Why? So many people have this question, why is Lord Krishna always with cows? Why does Lord Krishna wear a peacock feather? Why does he wear yellow dress? Why not pink dress? There are many things that you cannot question Krishna. Krishna is a supreme autocrat. You have just accept Krishna's plan. You just can't question. The first kind of Bhagavatam, when the Pandavas come to meet Bhishma Dev, when Bhishma Dev is lying in this bed of arrows, so Bhishma Dev is telling the Pandavas, who can understand Krishna's plans? Pandavas were Krishna's best friends. They were Krishna's brothers. Krishna was their peace messenger. Krishna was their chariot driver. Krishna was everything to them. Still, they had to suffer 13 years in exile, one after another, so many sufferings. So how can you understand this? Bhishma Dev explains, Krishna's plans one can never understand. Lord Krishna was born by the austerities, by the prayers of Vasudeva and Devaki. They struggled so much to give birth to Krishna. 6 of their children killed. And as soon as Krishna was born, Krishna tells Vasudeva, please take me to Gokul. So this is the mood. Krishna, someone has struggled to give birth to Krishna, and Krishna is going somewhere else. So Vidyapati, the Lord Neelamadav told Vishwavasu that now I want to accept service from King Indradyumna. Vishwavasu couldn't understand this philosophy. He was so attached to the deity. He was thinking that this Vidyapati has come and he's brainwashed Neelamadav. Till now, Neelamadav was happy with taking a service. This guy has come and something they have discussed and Neelamadav's mind is gone. So he decided that Vidyapati is the culprit. So he arrested Vidyapati. So Vidyapati is arrested. So that time Vidyapati somehow convinced his wife, Vishwavasu's daughter, please let me go. And Vishwavasu's daughter, just let Vidyapati go. And Vidyapati came running back to Avantipur. And then he tells King Indradyumna, now finally after a long struggle, I know where Neelamadav is, I know where Krishna is, where God is, you come with me. Indradyumna immediately, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. He was just waiting for this information. As soon as he heard that Neelamadav is here, he just dropped everything and he just leaves everything and goes to have darshan of Neelamadav. So this is the mood of surrender. The mood of surrender is when that call of Krishna comes, and that call of Krishna is always there. We don't have to wait for a call of Krishna to come. The Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is speaking personally to you and me. It's not for Arjuna. Arjuna knew all these things. So Krishna's call is always there for us. And Krishna's call is, please come and surrender to me. Krishna is waiting for all of us. Indradumna Maharaj, immediately he gave up everything. He just gave up his kingdom, family, everything. And he just went with Vidyapati towards Odisha to have darshan of Neelamadav. And you can imagine Indradumna, the kind of excitement he has, because he's having this desire for so long. When you have a certain desire for years and years and years, and when that desire is almost about to get fulfilled, the anticipation is so much. So Indradumna is so eager as he's inching closer to Odisha. And then finally Vidyapati takes Indradumna to this place where the deity of Neelamadav was. They open the door and what they see, no deity. Neelamadav is not there. So, this is the life of Indradumna. Happily lived ever after, those stories don't happen, The path of spirituality is a path of struggle. Krishna keeps testing his devotees in so many ways. But finally, Krishna's mercy comes in a very, very beautiful way. So Indradumna is devastated, completely devastated. After so many years of wait, he doesn't have darshan of Neelamadav. He's feeling so much pain, simultaneously so angry. He feels that probably Vishwavasu is the culprit. Vishwavasu came to know that Vidyapati is gone. He might have told the king. So Vishwavasu has hidden the deity. So immediately Indradumna comes to arrest Vishwavasu. So that time, the Lord sent Narad Muni there. So the same principle that we explained, Tesham Satata Yuktanam, when you are sincere to achieve Krishna, and at a certain point where you don't know what to do, Krishna will send an answer. And how Krishna sends an answer, Krishna will always send his devotee to give an answer to. When Sita Maiya was there in Lanka and she was suffering so much, she didn't know what to do, whether she should just give up her body, whether she should continue. Lord Ram sent Hanumanji to give assurance and to give up, a path and a hope to Sita Maiya. So similarly, Narad Muni comes there right at that point. And Narad Muni tells him, there's no point in arresting Vishwavasu because this is the Lord's plan. Now the Lord will not give darshan as Neelamadav. Now he will give darshan as Jagannatha in a different form. So Narad Muni tells him, Brahmaji has a lifespan of 100 years. So Narad Muni tells King Indradumna, for the first 50 years of Brahma, the Lord gives darshan as Neelamadav. And the next 50 years of Brahma, the Lord gives darshan as Jagannath. So at this present time, Brahmaji's age is 50 years. Brahmaji has already cut his 50th birthday cake. He's already 50 years old. So Neelamadav darshan is over. Now for the next 50 years, the Lord will appear as Jagannath. And Narad Muni tells him, Indradumna, you are going to be the cause, or you're going to be the instrument through which Lord appears in the form of Jagannath. So Narad Muni tells Indradumna, first you make a temple for Lord Jagannath, and then you come with me. I will take you to Brahmalok, Satyalok. We will invite Brahma to do this coronation ceremony, and then the Lord will come as Jagannath. So Indradumna, we are seeing how Indradumna finally achieves the darshan of Krishna. And this story is a story for all of us. It is a lesson for all of us. If you want to achieve Krishna, we have to follow the steps that King Indradumna had, or the steps that King Indradumna followed. The first step, the first aspect that we saw was that sincere desire. That desire is what we should have. See, the Lord can give us various facilities and resources, but if that desire is not there, the Lord cannot help us. So that desire is something that we have to cultivate. So when we have the sincere desire, the second step is the Lord sends Guru or Sadhu in our life. Rupa Goswami explains the various steps of Bhakti, Adav Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sang, Tata Bhajana Kriya. First is Adav Shraddha, that little faith. With that faith, sadhus come in our life. Just like in the life of Indradumna, Narad Muni is coming. And what does great souls, gurus, sadhus tell us? They give us a certain path. How to see Krishna, how to achieve Krishna. We have to follow that path with faith, with trust. So King Indradumna, till now he has not seen Krishna. But he's seen a pure devotee of Krishna, he's seen Narad Muni, and Narad Muni tells him, first make a temple. So Indradyumna, with faith in the words of Narada, he, he constructs a beautiful palatial temple. And after the temple is made, the deity is still not there, Krishna is still not come. So he goes with Narad Muni to Brahmaloka. And they invite Brahmaji, and Brahmaji says, okay, no problem, I will come to inaugurate, I will come to do Pran Pratishtha of the deity. So when they come back to earth, because the time in Brahmaloka and earthly realm is very different, when they come back to earth, ages have passed, yugas have passed, and King Indradyumna has lost his entire family in the process. All his children, grandchildren, everyone is gone in the whole process of Jagannath appearing in this world. So we all have darshan of Jagannath in great happiness, but it has come because of the sacrifice of King Indradyumna. See, for future generations to enjoy something, to take benefit of something, someone had to make some sacrifice. Like Srila Prabhupada did that sacrifice. Prabhupada gave up his family, he took sannyas. Prabhupada goes to America with hardly any money, suffers heart attacks, and Prabhupada established ISKCON, and now we are actually benefiting from it. But if Prabhupada didn't make that sacrifice, we wouldn't have the society. So someone at some time makes great sacrifices, and the future generations have benefit. Just like the appearance of Ganga Maya, Bhagirath Raja did great sacrifice. He did a lot of austerities, and then we have Ganga. So because someone does a sacrifice, we get the benefit. So King Indradyumna was ready to sacrifice his entire kingdom, his entire family, everything lost. Manasa deho geho jo kichu more arpilutuva pade nanda kishore. He was ready to pay this price also. Everything lost in the service of the Lord. So Indradyumna was definitely feeling bad, feeling separation from his family. But then what to do? Ultimately, the will of Krishna has to continue. You have to keep continuing serving God. Just like in the Mahabharata, Arjuna heard Gita from Lord Krishna. Arjuna initially was not very confident. After hearing Gita, he becomes very super confident. He becomes, very eager to fight, and then he starts to fight. And just few days later, his own dear son Abhimanyu dies. And Arjuna is again, he goes in a shock, in a state of depression. But what can you do? The path of bhakti is you have to get up and continue. Sukhe dukhe bole nago vadane hari naam bolore. You have to keep continuing walking on this path of bhakti. So Indradyumna just got up and continued his service. So by now, the entire temple that he made went in dust, it went into the sand. He had to recreate that entire temple. And then finally, he was thinking, now the temple has come up, but where will the deity come from? There's no deity. The temple is there. There's no deity. So that time, the Lord appears in the dream of Indradyumna and tells him, don't worry. Tomorrow, when you go to the ocean, Mahodadi, the ocean in Jagannath Puri, you will see a huge log of wood floating. This log of wood is actually coming from the spiritual world, Shwetadeep. So you make a deity of myself from this log of wood. So Indradyumna, again with faith in Lord's words. So till now, Indradyumna has not seen Krishna. He's not seen the form of God. He is just either hearing pure devotees or he is hearing the Lord voice, the voice of the Lord. So therefore, before Rupa, Shabda comes. So we say these things, Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. So before Rupa, Nama, Rupa. Before Rupa comes Nama. Yeah, before the form comes instructions. Right? Just like Lord Brahma, before he could see the form of Lord Vishnu, he heard the instruction of Vishnu. Tapa, do tapasya. And Brahma did tapasya for thousands of years, and then he got darshan of the form of God. So similarly, for all of us, before we see Krishna, we will hear the instructions of Krishna in the form of Gita, in the form of Bhagavad. When we follow those instructions with faith, then we will see Krishna. So Indradyumna goes to the ocean, and as the Lord said, there was a log of wood, a giant log of wood floating in the ocean. And he went with his entire army to lift this wood. No one could budge it. Finally, from the entire crowd, one Shabara, the same one personality from the same generation of the Shabaras, Vishwavasu, he came down and easily lifted this log of wood and he takes it to Gundicha temple. So we have Jagannath Mandir, which is Shri Mandir, where Jagannath stays. And on one end, you have Gundicha Mandir, which is which is considered to be non-different than Vrindavan. So Gundicha Mandir is the place where the deities of Jagannath has been formed. Yeah, Jagannath's Janam Sthan, Gundicha, the temple of Gundicha. So this deity was taken to the temple of Gundicha. And Indradyumna invited craftsmen, people who could sculpt from all over the world. But anyone who came there, this log of wood was so powerful, their instruments would break, but they wouldn't be able to sculpt it. Finally, Indradyumna, he was thinking what to do. And at that time, an old Brahmana appears. His name was Ananta Maharana. And he says, I will carve this deity. So it's a very interesting story of how Lord Jagannath appears. There are so many hurdles that come. But every time a hurdle comes, Indradyumna takes shelter of the Lord, and the Lord only helps. If we see the creation of the world also, which is explained in the second, third canto of Bhagavatam, Brahmaji is trying to create, and every time there's a problem, he's praying to Krishna, and then Krishna only comes to help. So we are so helpless that to achieve Krishna, we are dependent on Krishna. We cannot achieve Krishna without Krishna. But Krishna's help will come when we show a sincere effort, a sincere desire to achieve Krishna. So finally, this Ananta Maharana comes and he says, I will carve this deity, but I have a condition, 3 weeks of isolation. 3 weeks, myself, I'll be locked in this room with this log of wood. No one should disturb me. If someone comes and disturbs, I will just leave and go. So Indradyumna agrees. Now he's the only guy who can do it. Now whatever condition he has to just agree. He says, okay. So King Indradyumna, you can imagine, he's been waiting not for 1 year, 2 years. He's been waiting literally for yugas, ages together to see the Lord. And now only 3 weeks separation. In 3 weeks, he's going to see Krishna. Indradyumna was so eager, he didn't even go to his palace. Just outside this place where this carving was going on, he was just staying there. And the only thing that was giving him happiness was the chiseling sound. He was continuously hearing that chiseling sound, and this was giving him great happiness. Srila Prabhupada was one time there, I think in a Achyut temple. The temple was still being constructed, and Prabhupada says, Prabhupada told the devotees, I want to shift into the temple. And devotees told Prabhupada, you just stay in a hotel outside. It's too noisy here. There's a lot of work going on here. Prabhupada said, this noise is kirtan. This is kirtan. I love this noise. Noise of temple being constructed, noise of deities being chiseled. This is a very beautiful noise, or the noise of the printing press. When Prabhupada was in America, Prabhupada had a flat, and just below that there was a printing press. And day and night this printing press would go on. And Prabhupada said, this is bliss just to hear this sound. So Indradyumna was continuously hearing the sound of Jagannath being carved. After 2 weeks, no more sound. There's no sound that comes. Indradyumna is worried. What has happened? Probably the old Brahmana has died. He's sick. So Indradyumna, the kings, the advisors, the ministers tell the king, don't open. You have waited so long. Wait 1 week more. 2 weeks over. Just 1 week more, you will be able to see. But Indradyumna was so eager. He felt that, probably something is wrong. He just opened the door. And when he opened the door, Ananta Maharana, the sculptor, is not there. And the Lord is in the form of Jagannath. And Indradyumna felt, what is this? This Lord, hands also not formed fully, legs not there only, the body is not formed, eyes, face is not formed. So Indradyumna felt that it's because of me that the Lord is incomplete. This is an incomplete form of Krishna. So that time, as Indradyumna was lamenting, that time Narad Muni appears there. So we are seeing this, in the story time and again. Whenever he's in trouble, whenever he's in confusion, the Lord sends his devotee to clarify. So Narad Muni appears right there, and Narad Muni tells him, this is not an incomplete form, this is complete form. Om Purnam Adha Purnam Idam. Purnat Purnam Udachyate. This is a perfect, complete form, and this is a special form of Krishna called Jagannath. And Narad Muni tells a story how Krishna appears in this form. So many years ago, 5,000 years ago, when Lord Krishna was actually there in this world performing pastimes in Dwarka, Krishna was married to 16,108 wives. So one particular time, all the queens of Krishna, they wanted to hear the childhood pastimes of Krishna. They were seeing Krishna, They were seeing Krishna as Dwarkadish, but still their attraction was to Krishna in Bal Swarup. They were still attracted to Krishna in Vrindavan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu's teachings to Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Mahaprabhu explains Krishna is complete. Krishna is complete in Vaikuntha. In Vaikuntha, Krishna is complete. But Krishna is more complete. So Krishna is Purna. God is Purna in Vaikuntha. In Dwarka, Krishna is Purna Tara. He is more complete in Dwarka. But Krishna is most complete in Vrindavan. This is called Purna Tama. The most complete understanding of Krishna is Krishna in Vrindavan. So the queens of Krishna, they were seeing Krishna day and night, but still they were understanding this fact that Vrindavan is a very, very special place. Because Lord Krishna, even in Dwarka, Lord Krishna would keep chanting the names of Radharani, the names of gopis. Krishna would keep remembering Vrindavan. So all the queens of Krishna felt that Krishna is physically in Dwarka, but Krishna is mentally in Vrindavan. So they wanted to hear what is special about Vrindavan that Krishna is so attracted to. They wanted to hear the childhood of Vrindavan pastimes of Krishna. So that time, they all assembled together for a satsang. So can you imagine this? Krishna is personally present in Dwarka, still they are having Krishna Katha. So Krishna Katha is so important. It's not that Krishna Katha started after Krishna left this world. Krishna Katha has been there even while Krishna was there. We find when Lord Krishna was doing Ras Leela with the gopis, and suddenly Krishna disappears and goes because he found a little pride in the heart of the gopis. Now Krishna is not there. Krishna has just disappeared just like few seconds ago, 5 minutes ago. And the gopis are remembering Krishna and discussing Krishna Katha. When Krishna would go out to herd the cows, Yashoda Mata and all the gopis and all the gopas, they would discuss Krishna Katha. So Krishna Katha has been there even when Krishna was there in this world. So all the queens, they assembled together for a satsang, and they all decide that the speaker will be Rohini Mata. Because Rohini Devi, who was Balaramji's mother, she was one personality who was there in Vrindavan Leela and Dwarka Leela. Very fortunate personality. Because Devaki, even Krishna's own mother, she was only in Dwarka and Mathura. She was not in Vrindavan. So Rohini is the only personality who was there in both places. So she says, okay, I have seen Vrindavan Leela myself. I have seen Krishna play in the mud of Vrindavan. I have seen Krishna smear gobar all over his body. I have seen Krishna holding the calf of a tail, the tail of a calf, and the calf dragging Krishna all over the dust of Vrindavan. So she says, I will definitely describe Vrindavan Leela. But one condition, Krishna Balaram should not come. If Krishna Balaram come here, I will just not be able to continue. So they said, okay, fine. We will fulfill your condition. That time Subhadra Maiya, who was the younger sister of Krishna and Balaram, she decides, okay, I will take care because sister generally can handle brothers well. So she says that I'll handle my brothers well, don't worry. I will remain as the security guard in the door. And then Rohini Mata starts Vrindavan Leela. She starts to describe the beautiful pastimes of Krishna and Vrindavan. And all the queens of Krishna are so mesmerized. I mean, so much absorbed in Krishna Katha, this Vrindavan Katha. That time, Krishna Balaram, probably in Dwarka, they were doing some urgent business, they were in their Sudharma Sabha doing something. But when that vibration comes, that in Dwarka, there is Vrindavan Katha going on. And Vrindavan Katha basically means what? About Krishna, and more than Krishna, it's about the gopis, about Srimati Radharani. So when Krishna hears about Radharani, Krishna loses his balance, right? So Lord Krishna is doing some important work in Dwarka. When that vibration comes to him, that Krishna Katha is going on, Radharani's glories is going on, the glories of the surrender of my great devotees, Krishna Balaram, they give up whatever they are doing and they run. Sarva Dharman Parityajya Maham Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Devotees also follow it, Krishna also follows it. So devotees get that mood of surrender when they hear about Krishna. And when Krishna hears about his devotees, Krishna also leaves everything and comes. Ye yatama prapatyanti tam stataiva bhajameho. So if you are surrendered to Krishna, Krishna will give himself completely. So because the discussion about the Vrajavasis was going on, Krishna was feeling that these Vrajavasis have done so much for me. Krishna just couldn't control himself. Krishna just left everything. Krishna Balaram, they sit on their rath and come full speed to hear Krishna Katha. So here is a very important lesson. Krishna Katha is so attractive that it attracts even Krishna. Krishna was the supreme attractive. He gets attracted by his own Katha. That is the beauty of Krishna Katha. So more powerful than Krishna is Krishna Katha, Krishna Nam. We know this beautiful Leela, na? When the monkeys were doing this Samudra, they were making this Setu, Ram Setu across the ocean. Hanumanji was taking one stone and he was thinking how to make the stone float. He threw one stone and the stone sank. He threw one more stone, the stone sank. Finally, Hanumanji takes one stone and he chants Jai Shri Ram. He chants the name of Ram, throws it, and the stone is floating. Hanumanji discovers the secret. Chant Ram's name, the stone will float. So Ram was seeing this whole scene, and Ram was thinking, let me also try. These people have great confidence in my name. Let me also try it. So Lord Ram, he saw here and there, no one was seeing. Lord Ram took a stone, threw it, and it sank. And Hanumanji saw the scene. Lord Ram was very embarrassed. Now what to tell? People will lose faith in him. So Hanumanji told Lord Ram, I know why the stone sank. Because anyone whom you give up on, that person will definitely drown. But Hanumanji said, my dear Lord, more powerful than you couldn't make the stone float. Your holy names has made the stone float. So more powerful than Krishna is the names of Krishna, is the Katha of Krishna. The Katha of Krishna is so attractive that it can literally attract Krishna. So Krishna is called Madan Mohan and Bhakti ya Srimati Radharani is called Madan Mohan Mohini. Srila Rupa Goswami explains in his Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 6 different characteristics of Bhakti, and one of the characteristics is Shri Krishna Akarshani. Bhakti attracts Krishna also. So Lord comes running, Krishna and Balaram, they come running there and stand on both sides of Subhadra Maya. And hearing Krishna Katha, the Vrindavan Leela, Krishna, Balaram, Subhadra, all three of them go in ecstasy. I don't know how many of you all have experienced ecstasy. But anyone who experiences ecstasy, there are different symptoms, 8 symptoms. Ashta Satvika Bhav. Your hair stand on end. There's continuous tears from your eyes. There's faltering of the voice. There is shivering. These are all different symptoms. Sometimes the eyes become very big. The limbs of the body shrink. So these are very high levels of ecstasy. Even in ecstasy, there are different levels. The highest level of ecstasy is called Mahabhav. This Mahabhav stage was experienced only by Srimati Radharani, not even the other gopis. Only Srimati Radharani would experience this stage of Mahabhav. Kind of madness. It's a divine madness that you cannot even imagine. Radharani would be so mad for Krishna in separation from Krishna, and her temperature of her body would increase so much. When she would enter a lake, the entire lake would dry up. That was the kind of separation that she had. So Krishna, Balaram and Subhadra, hearing Krishna Leela, hearing the Vrindavan pastimes, they go in a state of ecstasy. Their limbs shrink in, their eyes become very, very big. So this is a state of Mahabhav. So Narad Muni, right at that time, he's flying in the sky and he has this darshan. So Narad Muni is another personality who is so eager, there is nothing that he misses. There is no darshan, no avatar that he has missed. Because he is eager, Krishna has given him all the darshan. So Narad Muni sees this darshan and he tells, my dear Lord, this darshan is so beautiful. I have seen your form of Narayan, I have seen your form of Matsya, Kurma, hundreds of your forms. I have seen your form even as Krishna, but this form is something very special. In this form, you are the most merciful, right? Like Mahabhav stage it's literally a stage where someone is out of control. Like someone doesn't have control. Like, someone who's like a drunkard, who doesn't have senses, you go and ask him anything, you go and ask him 1 lakh rupees, probably he'll remove and give it to you also. Because he is not in his senses. So Krishna generally, he sees rules and regulations. Right? If someone is following rules properly, I'll give him mercy. But Krishna in the form of Jagannath is very, very merciful. He doesn't see, he just wants to give mercy to everyone because he's in the mood of remembering Radharani and Vrindavan. So Narad Muni sees this form and he says, this form is so beautiful. You're so merciful in this form. My dear Lord, my only prayer is, please give this darshan in this form to everyone in this world. So Narad Muni has such compassion. Narad Muni doesn't tell Krishna, my dear Lord, you have shown this form to me. My prayer to you is, don't show this form to anyone else. I should be the only person who should see this form. That is not his mood. His mood is, please give this mercy to everyone. So that is the mood of King Indradyumna, Narad Muni, when they get something special, they want that mercy to be distributed everywhere. And Krishna says, don't worry, when I come as Jagannath, I will give this darshan to everyone. Jagannath Puri, I'll be there in this form. So Narad Muni tells the story to Indradyumna, and Indradyumna is very happy now. Because till now he was feeling that it's because of me the Lord is incomplete. Now he's very, very happy. So Indradyumna, as Brahmaji had promised, Lord Brahma appears there, Shiva and all the demigods come there. And on the day of Snan Purnima, which just past few days ago, Lord Brahma does Pran Pratishtha of the deities of Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra. So this is the story of Lord Jagannath's appearance. So we have some time more. In short, I will just explain to you all the story of how, this is the story of how Lord Jagannath appeared in Jagannath Puri. I'll just touch upon how Lord Jagannath appeared in Mayapur. There is a beautiful story there also. I'll just touch on the story and then probably we can take some discussions. So in the 17th century, there was a Yavana king called Raktabahu. So this Raktabahu basically means his hands were always wet with blood. A great name to have, Raktabahu, very scary name. So this fellow, his pastime was he would destroy temples in Odisha and he would destroy deities in Odisha. So when the devotees of Jagannath heard that this Raktabahu is going all over Odisha, destroying temples, destroying deities, they approached Jagannath and said, my dear Jagannath, we are worried about you. What will happen to you? This Raktabahu may harm you also. Please, Jagannath, please protect yourself. We are very concerned about you. Jagannath told the devotees, I am Jagannath, I am the Supreme Lord. What can this Raktabahu do to me? But Jagannath was thinking, TK, all of you all are so concerned. Then all of you all take me away from here. Take me away to Bengal. So the first time in history, Jagannath leaves Jagannath Puri and he goes to Bengal. This is his pastime. He goes on the way. And all the Shabaras, the same Shabaras we were discussing about, Vishwavasu and everyone. So whenever there is Snan Yatra or whenever there is this 15 days of when the darshan is closed called Anavasar period, all the Shabaras only, the same Vishwavasu Kul, they do the service. Right now also the same parampara is there. See, all the Shabaras, they were carrying Lord Jagannath. Now Jagannath is not like, Jagannath is huge, very huge deities. So now to carry Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra and their whole paraphernalia they had to carry because the service of the deities cannot stop. So hundreds and thousands of people, they were making the journey to Bengal. And for 12 consecutive days, they walked to Bengal. And when they reach Bengal, they reach this place called Mayapur, Navdeep. And in Navdeep, there is one island called Simantar Dweep. They reach this place. And Jagannath appears in the dream of the head Shabara, the Pujari there. And he tells him, I will stay here. This place is non-different than Jagannath Puri. This is my permanent place. I will stay here only. All the Shabara says, okay, my dear Lord, whatever your desire. And they all settle in a village very close to this place. Now also in Mayapur, in Simantar Deep, there is a village called Shabara Dang, the village where all the Shabaras stayed. And they were continuing the service of Jagannath. But what happens in due course of time, Jagannath Ji here in Mayapur, he disappears from sight. So many times this pastime happens. The Lord gives darshan and sometimes he stops darshan. Due to some reason, time and again this pastime happens. So suddenly the seva was going on. At one point the seva stopped and probably the deities were lost and covered with anthill or something. The darshan of the deities were not there. Again, at the time of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, almost 500 years ago, there was a devotee called Jagdish Ganguly. This devotee was a great Vaishnava, a devotee of Mahaprabhu. Every year, he would walk 900 kilometers from Bengal to Jagannath Puri to participate in the Rath Yatra. So this pastime, this pratha is still there. Now also, if you go to Jagannath Puri for the Rath Yatra, you will find people from Odisha, Bengal, they walk all the way for the Rath Yatra, stay for the Rath Yatra, and they walk back home. Or they may go back by a vehicle, but at least they walk one way back, at least to Jagannath Puri. So this devotee, Jagdish Ganguly, with Shivananda Sen and all the devotees from Bengal, he would walk every year to Jagannath Puri to participate in Rath Yatra to have darshan of Jagannath. Stayed in Jagannath Puri for 4 months and then come to Bengal. One particular day, when Jagdish Ganguly became very old, he developed a serious eye illness. He became blind. He couldn't see. So now if you can't see, you can't walk. So Jagdish Ganguly was feeling so bad. I am not able to see Jagannath. So the only reason he wanted eyes was to see Jagannath. So he was feeling so depressed that I'm not able to see Jagannath. I'm not able to see Jagannath. So because he had this eagerness. So we saw the eagerness of King Indradumna. Here we are seeing the eagerness of Jagdish Ganguly. He was so eager, my dear Lord, I'm not able to see you. I'm not able to see you. One day Jagannath appeared in a dream and told him, don't worry. Tomorrow morning when you go to take your daily bath in Ganga, a log of wood will come and touch your head. Immediately your eyes will come. Take that log of wood to a carpenter who has leprosy. And this carpenter will make a deity of me, of Jagannath. This Jagannath deity will be non-different than the Jagannath deity in Jagannath Puri. So Jagdish Ganguly became very happy. He just went to Ganga, and as the Lord promised, a log of wood came and hit his head. His vision was restored. He takes that log of wood. He finds this carpenter who was a leper. Leprosy he had. His fingers were melted because of leprosy. And Jagdish comes and tells this carpenter, you have to make the deity of Jagannath. So the carpenter says, I don't have fingers. How will I carve? Without fingers, how can you carve? He says, no, no, Jagannath has told you only have to make. And as soon as you make, your fingers will come. So this carpenter also had faith in Jagannath. So when the Lord gives you an order, just do it. Don't think whether you can do it or not. Just do it, and as soon as you start doing it, Krishna will give you the power to do it. Ultimately, it is Krishna only doing it. We have to just act as instruments. Nimitta matram bhava savya sachin. So this carpenter made the deity of Jagannath, and as soon as he finished the deity, his leprosy goes and his fingers come back. So Jagdish Ganguly takes this deity and starts to worship the same deity. So this was the same deity of Jagannath which had disappeared in Mayapur, again reappeared to Jagdish Ganguly. So he carved the deity of Balaram, Subhadra, and then installed the deities, and he started to worship. So Jagdish Ganguly was worshipping this deity for a very long time. But after his departure, his family couldn't continue the service. They couldn't do the service well. And again, the deity disappears out of sight. An anthill covers the deity. So years later, almost like 80, 90 years ago, there was a personality called Jaimini Ghosh, who was living in this area very close to Simantardweep. So one day he was passing this area of Simantardweep. The deities of Jagannath is not there. It was like a thick jungle. So in the night he is passing and he hears a sound. It's Jagannath speaking. So this fellow thought that, Jaimini Ghosh thought that this is a ghost or something. But Jagannath said, no, 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 I'm here. Please continue my service. No one is doing seva to me. Jaimini Ghosh goes to the landowner of that place called Fatik Chatterjee, and they discover this deity of Jagannath. And from that time on, the deity of Jagannath worship has been going on in Simantardweep. And in the year 1978, the deity of Jagannath, the seva of the deities of Jagannath was handed over to ISKCON. And since 1978, ISKCON devotees take care of Jagannath in Simantardweep called Rajapur Jagannath. There are many pastimes of Rajapur Jagannath. We will not get into the pastimes, probably a separate session for it. But Rajapur Jagannath in one sense is more merciful than Puri Jagannath. Because in Puri Jagannath, only Hindus are allowed to go inside. Muslims, Christians, foreigners not allowed. But Rajapur Jagannath is so merciful that anyone can go. Everyone can have darshan of Jagannath Ji there. So this is the pastime of how Lord Jagannath appeared in Mayapur. And then to conclude with how Jagannath appeared in the life of ISKCON devotees. When Srila Prabhupada went to America way back in 1965, Prabhupada first started the center in New York, Matchless Gift Store. Then Prabhupada moved to San Francisco. So this was the second center that Prabhupada established. San Francisco was a hub of the hippie culture. So some of the young boys and girls told Prabhupada, this is a happening place. You please come to San Francisco. So Prabhupada shifted to San Francisco. So one day Prabhupada was there in his room, and he sees that Malati Mataji, one of the initial disciples of Srila Prabhupada, she had got a small statue of Jagannath and kept it on the table of Prabhupada. And Prabhupada, immediately seeing Jagannath, Prabhupada offers obeisances. And Prabhupada says, Jagannath has come on his own. So what did Malati Mataji do was, in those days, there was this psychedelic culture. A lot of Indian goods were like sold in the West, different kinds of fancy things. So in one store like this, Malti Mataji has seen this Jagannath deity. And interestingly, the deity was so small, she just put it in her pocket. Probably she didn't have money to pay. She just put it in her pocket and came out. So in those days, no CCTV camera, she just came. And she kept it on the deity. So the first small deity of Jagannath was stolen literally. Jagannath ji came like that. And Prabhupada asked Malti Mataji, are there two more people? Malti Mataji didn't understand. Malti Mataji said, let me go and check. And there were two more. And she picked up Subhadra and Balaram like that same style, and she bought it and kept it in front of Prabhupada. And Prabhupada was so happy. Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra have come on their own. Because Prabhupada had great love for Jagannath. So Prabhupada didn't plan the deity installation at all. Nothing planned. The deities just appeared. Jagannath just came walking into Prabhupada's life. So Prabhupada spoke to the husband of Malti Mataji. His name was Shyam Sundar Prabhu. He was a carpenter. So Prabhupada told him, can you make big deities like this? The same small Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, can you make big size? So Shyam Sundar Prabhu said, okay, I'll make. So he got logs of wood and he started to carve. One day, Prabhupada goes to the house of Shyam Sundar Prabhu to check how he is doing, how the carving is going on. See, these boys and girls, they had come, they were like hippies literally, into drugs, smoking, drinking, everything. They came to Prabhupada, but still the traces of the whole habits were there. So Prabhupada unannounced goes to the house of Shyam Sundar, where Shyam Sundar was working on the deity. You know what Prabhupada sees? On the deity of Jagannath, which Shyam Sundar is carving, there is a packet of cigarette. There's a packet of cigarette. Now what will Prabhupada do? Prabhupada thought, if I chastise this guy, this fellow will also go. First of all, no one is coming. So Prabhupada very lovingly told him, why is this small stick coming between you and Jagannath? This small stick is an obstacle between you and Jagannath. And Shyam Sundar Prabhu gave up those cigarettes. And then he made these beautiful deities of Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, the first deities of ISKCON. And Prabhupada did Pran Pratishtha. How did Prabhupada do? There was no yajna, there's nothing that he could do. He had a candle and Prabhupada would, do that candle, Aarti with that candle. And devotees were doing Kirtan. So Prabhupada did Aarti and he gave it to the next devotee. And that devotee asked Prabhupada, what should I do? Prabhupada said, keep revolving like this, keep doing like this. He said, how long should I do? Prabhupada said, keep doing. When you're tired, give it to the next guy. And that guy, he did it and he gave it to the next devotee. In this way, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, the first deities in ISKCON were established. So these are few stories of the appearance of Jagannath in Puri, Mayapur, and in ISKCON. And now Jagannath deities is one of the most favorite deities of all ISKCON devotees. Anywhere in the world you go, you'll find everywhere, in most centers, in most temples of ISKCON, and in the houses of devotees, Jagannath there. Jagannath is very, very merciful. So these are the appearance pastimes of Jagannath. So tomorrow probably we will see the mood of Rath Yatra and then Mahaprabhu's pastimes in Rath Yatra. Hare Krishna. Jagannath Swami.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for this nectarian session on appearance of Jagannath, Prabhuji. So it was very wonderful and with wonderful stories and takeaway points also. It was very nice, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. And we're looking forward for the tomorrow's class, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Dandat Pranam, Prabhuji. Very nice session, Prabhuji. Thank you. Dandat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranams, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Very, very blissful narration, Prabhuji. You just took us in the land of Jagannath. We were able to see all that you narrated, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your valuable association. Hare Krishna, Pranams.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Wonderful.
Dandavat Pranam.
Vaishnavebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Nandikam Jai.
Gopal ki jai.
Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam Granth.
Jagannath.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.